What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So a new version of COD Mobile, not a update or anything like that, but a separate COD Mobile game has been announced, and it is coming out, I don't know, like maybe 2022, 2023, who knows? We might still be a ways off. And I know a lot of you guys wanted to hear my opinion on this. And I mean, I don't blame you guys, and because some of you guys have messaged me and even said, oh, what are your thoughts on this new thing? Honestly, I didn't answer because, I didn't really think it was true. I thought it was just going to be a rumor, but it turns out it's pretty much all but confirmed by Activision. And look, a lot of questions still need to be answered about this game. One common one I do hear a lot on Twitter is whether or not we're going to be able to transfer all of our skins into the new COD mobile game. So obviously, something like that would be way too good to be true. I doubt that it's going to be a thing. I'm sure Call of Duty Mobile here, as of right now, is still going to be prevalent, but I feel like this is going to be just another cash grab, if you can say that. And I understand there are going to be questions of whether or not controller is going to be supported on this new Call of Duty Mobile. Obviously, it's most likely going to happen. I mean, why wouldn't they add controller support, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter how you play. I mean, they're still making money anyway. I'm still buying all the draws, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't really think there's going to be a problem with that. I mean, most shooter games on mobile do have controller support. I mean, that new combat game, the shooter game that a lot of people have been liking, is going to come out with controller support soon, or I don't even know if it already did. But Fortnite, PUBG, all that stuff has controller support, so I really don't think that's going to be a huge issue. And I know a lot of you guys are going to tell me that Fortnite, I don't really think it's in the App Store anymore, but during the time it did have controller support. So yeah. So we're going to have to take a look at this game from different ways. I mean, like I said, what if it's a Warzone game? We have to look at, the possibility of that. And, I mean, it's not really out of the realm of possibility. I mean, we've had code names like WZM, right? Warzone Mobile. So I think that's still a possibility. But the thing is that how are they going to have it work in mobile? I know, Warzone has like really insanely huge maps like Verdansk and, well, maybe Rebirth Island. But then again, we can handle Alcatraz, which is pretty much the same thing. So yeah, I mean, what kind of maps are we going to have? Are we going to have Blackout? Are we going to have Verdansk? Are we going to have the Warzone Pacific? We really don't know. And what's more, we're going to have to figure out how, weapons are going to function in that game and what kind of weapons are going to be there. Are we going to have all the ones from COD Mobile ported over to that game? Or are we going to have the Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare weapons? I mean, anything could happen, but my best guess, if they are putting a Warzone Mobile, it's most likely gonna be, all the Call of Duty mobile guns. I mean, they're already there and they could just implement all of them easily and port them over to that game. We also have to keep in mind the fact that, Activision wants all platforms to connect, whether it be on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and even mobile, all in one. So I really don't know how that's going to work. I mean, what if they actually do implement Warzone into mobile and they allow us in the future? I mean, this could be ways off, but they allow, people on console or even on PC to use COD mobile weapons. But of course, to grind out the camos, you would have to play on the mobile game itself, right? So I know like they'll probably get access immediately to all of those weapons, but I mean, they're probably going to start with like literally no skins at all. We also have to take into account the gunsmith because, I mean, every single game already has their own custom gunsmith in Warzone. Modern Warfare has its own Modern Warfare, type of attachment setups. Cold War has their own type of gunsmith as well with their own upsides and downsides. And Vanguard is going to have the same thing with Caldera. So if all this comes true, if we do get a Warzone Mobile, are we going to have the same attachment setups that we do have in COD Mobile, like the OWC marksmans, Ranger barrels, monolithic suppressors, stipple grip tapes, extended mags, large caliber? Are all of those going to be in Warzone? And even if so, if you're able to connect to all the platforms as well, are they going to have access to that, right? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, you have to think about implementing all of those weapons into each of those platforms, and it's going to be kind of weird. Like, you would really think that you would never really think of using COD Mobile like the AK-117 in Warzone. That's kind of weird. But I mean, with the advancement of technology, I mean, it's not far from possibility. But if we're going to be realistic, I mean, we're probably going to have a Warzone that's separate from console and PC. At least for the time being. Maybe like when devices get stronger and somehow mobile is able to connect cross-platform with all of those at some point in the future, maybe. But as of right now, we're probably gonna have to focus on just mobile weapons being on Warzone Mobile. And I mean, we have a lot of weapons. They're probably gonna have to balance everything out once more for it to kind of like fit Warzone, because I mean, you know, the ranges have to be buffed, because I mean, like if they're gonna have the same range as they would in multiplayer here, I mean, most guns at long range are not even gonna be effective at all. So I don't know, they're gonna have to balance everything differently, and there's gonna be a completely different meta, that's for sure. I mean, who knows, the swordfish can be the best weapon out there, or even the Shecom could be the best weapon in Warzone. Like, can you imagine that? You know, it's gonna be, everything's gonna just be like turned upside down. It's gonna be weird. And also we have to take into account all the skins that we have currently in this game. If they migrate over, I mean, that's gonna take some time as well. I mean, but that shouldn't be too complicated, since like, I mean, with Warzone on console and PC, they were able to port over all the camos and all the mastercrafts from Cold War into Warzone. Albeit they kind of did look like shit at some points. I mean, with Diamond Camo it looked terrible, but you know, with DM Ultra, Gold Camo looked pretty cool. Yeah, they're probably gonna have to take up a different appearance compared to what we see here in COD Mobile. There are 72 weapons in this game, right? Or like there's like over 70 weapons. I don't really know. I've kind of lost count already. But I don't really think that they're going to release every single weapon on this game right off the bat into Warzone Mobile. I think they're going to have like a few. Maybe it's going to be mixed, or maybe it's going to be kind of like in order from how it was released in COD Mobile. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think they're going to give us like 80 guns right off the bat, and then, you know, we're going to have to figure out what's the meta and all that crap. I'm pretty sure they're going to have like their own type of weaponry that, you know, comes out in a certain order. I mean, for all we know, we could get like the AS Val as one of our first weapons, or, you know, let's say the DRH is going to be like somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I don't really know how the weapon release is going to be. And I'm pretty sure that's going to coincide with, you know, the seasons of COD Mobile. I mean, it's, you know, that's how Warzone usually kind of like functions with, you know, Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019. So, I mean, that's another thing that we have to take into account. Like, how are the seasons going to work? Is this going to be, is it going to have its own separate battle pass, or is it just going to share the battle pass with COD Mobile and we could just progress on either game? You see, there's a lot of things that we have to keep into account. I mean, we have to think about the perks too. I mean, what kind of perks are going to be in Warzone Mobile? I mean, are they going to take out Dead Silence and have it as a field upgrade? I know they're not. I definitely know for sure that they're not going to have any operator skills like that. I'm sure they're just going to have the classic ammo boxes with Dead Silence, stopping power rounds, and all that stuff. So I really doubt that they're putting any sort of like crazy operator skill. So now that we're done talking about the Warzone possibility, let's talk about the basic multiplayer possibility, you know, where it's just a brand new Call of Duty mobile game. So believe it or not, Activision didn't really know that COD Mobile was going to be this successful. People didn't really think that they're going to drop hundreds of dollars on lucky draws, crates, and continue playing the game for years to come. So yeah, they were kind of surprised, and, you know, they didn't really think it was going to last too long. But I mean, here we are now 2 years later, and I mean, this game is still thriving pretty well despite its flaws. But the flaws are the reason why we kind of need a do-over. I really don't mind that. And I know a lot of people, like I said, are going to question whether or not we're going to be able to transfer our skins into this new COD mobile game. Look, I don't know, it seems too good to be true, but if they did, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But in terms of completionist camos, they're probably going to have a completely new set, so we're going to have to start all over again. The thing is that we don't really know what weapons are going to be there. I'm sure they could bring some of the weapons over to the new COD mobile game, like the Swordfish or the AS Val or something like that. But, I mean, we're going to have to grind in a completely different way. And maybe the grind's going to be a little bit harder because, let's be honest, I mean, yeah, the grind is time consuming, right? But it's not hard. And that's because we have bots that pretty much feed us these challenges. And I'm not really sure if they're going to have bots on that game. They might not, or they'll have it so that if you do kill a bot, the challenges don't count unless you kill a real person. I mean, that's something that to consider, but I highly doubt that. I mean, they're probably still going to be bots in the game, especially if you're a controller player, because I know they like to segregate control layouts. So, I mean, they want to have touch players with touch players, controller players with mouse and keyboard players. But in terms of completionist camos, I'm hoping to God they finally make an animated one. Because, I mean, every single camo that we have that's a completionist one is stationary. None of them actually have any effects other than Ether Crystal when it's, you know, it's motion based. But it's not animated. Like, I feel like we need something that's actually worth getting. And, you know, they could still have that challenge where you have to complete 150 games with 10 kills to get another camo. And they could probably have that as diamond. But, I mean, they have to have something that's animated. You know, something worth grinding for, because I mean, I don't really see a lot of people with Damascus camo, and that's because it just sucks. It's not something a lot of people would waste a lot of time on. I mean, having a crystallized camo wouldn't be a bad idea as a final completionist camo, because at least it looks decent. But with Damascus, I know they changed it a lot, but I mean, even now, it's still just not worth getting. Another aspect of the game that we do have to kind of take a look at is the movement. I'm pretty sure at this point with this new one, they're probably going to add tactical sprint as a full, you know, movement feature for Call of Duty Mobile 2. We don't have it here unless we have a mythic weapon, but it doesn't change the movement at all. It just changes the simple animation. That's pretty much it. Like, how is jumping going to work? Because they said they were going to have a completely new engine. So the graphics are going to look different. From what I heard, it's going to be Unreal Engine. I'm not sure if it's going to be Unreal Engine 4, 5, or wherever the fuck they have, but it is going to be Unreal Engine nonetheless. One thing I do hope that they change is the sliding and aiming thing, because, you know, I won't lie, it is kind of annoying sometimes, especially when it happens to you. I do that a lot, I will admit, but it's a kind of annoying. I would like to have like just a basic sprint, but you have to hip fire type of thing, unless you have a perk. That'd be pretty cool. Drop shotting, they need to make that available for controllers as well, because there is a 2-second delay before you go prone. So I'm hoping that they, you know, make it so that you can actually drop shot with controller. That would be really, really nice. For touch control layouts, I'm pretty sure it's going to be more or less the same. I'm sure touch players are going to be able to kind of like have it similar to how it is here in COD Mobile. Well, the only real difference is going to be the icons. They're probably going to look a little different because obviously it's a new game. Another feature of the game that we do have to look at is the graphics settings. I know they're going to have multiple graphic settings for, you know, various devices. They'll have low frame settings or low graphic settings for devices that may not be able to handle higher graphics. But, you know, for the more recent devices like iPad Pros and, you know, other iPads that are pretty recent, I'm sure they're going to have like the same kind of graphical layout. When it comes to frames, I'm hoping that they have Ultra on the devices that actually support them. So I'm assuming all that stuff is more or less going to stay the same. But I'm hoping that they give us a little bit more freedom to run like ultra frames with like high or max graphics or something like that. Because I kind of feel that, you know, iPad Pros could actually support something like that. Especially for those that have the M1 version of the iPad, the one with the M1 chip that's on the Max. So it is a very powerful tablet. If you do have that model, I have the A12Z one, which is the one prior to that one. I don't really think the ones that have the A12Z chip will support that, but I'm sure anyone or any iPad that has the M1 or above should be able to support, you know, graphics or high graphics with 90 frames per second. The only reason why I haven't really upgraded iPads is because, I mean, right now there's no need to. I mean, they have the same settings, so there's no real difference between this one and the M1. Unless they update the graphics settings for the newer device, I would be more than happy to upgrade, but as of right now, there's no point. So now let's get into the last two aspects of the games that we also need to consider. One of them is, of course, the weapon balance. So knowing this game, this weapon balance has just been awful for the past 2 years. We've had overpowered snipers, overpowered SMGs, most recently the MX9. We still have the M13 that's really powerful. You know, we just can't seem to get it right. You know, we can't have it to the point where like multiple weapons are viable. Like not just like 2 or 3, but I'm talking about like maybe 5, 6, maybe 10. But we don't have that here. And that's something that really needs to change if they're going to have a second COD mobile game. Especially with perks like persistence. Hopefully they can have, you know, a much higher standard for getting score streaks compared to what they have now. Something like similar to Infinite Warfare, where you needed like what, 40 to 50 kills to get a VTOL. And like you really need to work to get those streaks. But here it just like get one kill, you get a UAV. It's like, that's how it feels. I know it's not like that, but I'm just over exaggerating. And look guys, I know it's Call of Duty. We're always gonna have this at some point in a Call of Duty life cycle, but it's the response time that pisses me off. And I know a lot of you guys can agree. I mean, they wait a very, very long time to fix weapons that need to be adjusted. You know, sometimes they don't even like update the weapons after a major update. They just don't do that. Sometimes you have to wait 4 seasons, 5 seasons in order for them to change a weapon that needs to be changed. We should not be waiting a quarter of a year to get weapon balance changes. That's just not how it should be. They need to have more developers working on weapon balance while they're also working on new features, right? Like they have to hire a lot more people just so, you know, they could update or, you know, make nerfs or buffs to certain weapons that actually need it at a good amount of time instead of waiting, you know, every other season. And look, as I've said many times before, I don't mind if they don't fix it within a day. I don't expect that to happen. But it has to be a lot faster than just 2-3 months. I mean, how long did we wait for the thermites to get nerfed? I mean, you know, stuff like that. That's what kills the game for a lot of people. A lot of my friends have quit this game because of all this. So yeah, they need to work on their response time for weapon changes. Definitely, that's a must for this new COD mobile game. One last thing that we do need to consider with this game is the microtransactions. That's something that really does need an overhaul. Like they need to kind of like get with the times, especially the ones on console and PC, because all the weapons legendary and above are sold in bundles and not on lucky draws. So you don't have to spend over $150 just to get a mythic level weapon from Black Ops Cold War. You spend like maybe like 75% less than what you spend here in COD Mobile. That's crazy. And look, it's a new game. I mean, you could start off with bundles and keep it like that for the duration of its life cycle. And I'm hoping it stays that way because, I mean, they make a lot more money like that. If they sold everything for 2,400 COD points or even 3,000 COD points, I would be fine with that. A lot of us would be fine because more people can get access to those instead of having to drop like $300 for a mythic weapon. And for those mythic weapons, I mean, if you have to go up to like 5,000, okay, fine. At least it's on a bundle, right? So you get some other stuff like that. And if you're going to have mythic cards so we can upgrade them, have us be able to grind for them instead of having to pay even more money to get all the features that should already be with the mythic weapon. So I understand this video is a little bit longer, but I want to cover all bases because like I said, there is a possibility that Warzone Mobile can be a thing. It could be that game. But again, we don't know. It could be a completely new multiplayer COD game for mobile. But in order for this game to succeed, they need to be more reactive. They need to be, you know, communicating with the community. They have to be on time when it comes to all these balance changes and not wait almost half a year to change like one thing that can easily be changed within a few minutes. Yeah, that needs to be adjusted. And as well as microtransactions, I hope they're a little bit more fair than what they are here, because it's ridiculous of how much money you have to drop in order to get these type of weapons. And I'm sure that anyone that would see this from consoles perspective or even from PC perspective would think that this is ridiculous. But anyways, that's my take on this whole situation. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD Mobile content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.